nerds.
Hello and welcome to Calling All Nerds. My name is Mo7 and I'm here with my buddy Nape Tremblay.
Hello. I'm not gonna lie. That is the first time that I actually heard the name of the show. So up until this point, I had no idea what the name of what we were doing was.
And Nape is going to be co-hosting with me, and we're going to be interviewing our two awesome and beautiful friends from across the glass, Asha and Arman. Go ahead, introduce yourself, guys.
Oh, I guess I'm going first. Hi, I'm Arman Coley. This is also the first time I have heard the name of the podcast, so this was been a bit of a revelation for everyone here.
I'm glad. I was keeping it as a surprise for all you guys,
so that we could all have a genuine reaction of, oh, I guess that's the name of what we are doing now.
Yeah,
It's calling all nerds.
I think Mo thinks we're nerds, guys.
There might be a slight suspicion on my side.
I think that's wrong.
All right. I see how it is.
And I'm Asha. I'm very excited to record today.
Hey, Asha.
Hi.
Hello. I'm interested. One question I have is, why are you still wearing your sunglasses, Asha?
Because they're prescription.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So that's everyone, and a quick rundown. So as you guys know, vinyl is not an option today, but I do have a beautiful collection of awesome tunes to show you guys. The way the show is gonna go is probably gonna be listening to 5, maybe 6 songs. I had a list of songs prepared for all of you, specifically for you, and works well with the passions that I kind of thought you guys would talk about.
Oh no.
But unfortunately, you won't be able to do that because the record system is not online right now.
Could you sing the songs yourself?
No, but I can show them to you at my place, where I have a fully working record player.
To is human,
Amazing.
to forgive, divinal.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off tonight. We're gonna start off this
12:45.
this beautiful episode. We're gonna start off the episode with a song that I actually had just been playing. Do you mind clicking Q? Yeah. Click again Q. Q. Yep. And I'll click play when I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna start off with Milo Green in their album that has a super weird cover, but
You audience
no
can't
actual.
see this, but the cover art is pretty bold.
Yeah, the cover art is pretty bald, but it just says Milo Green on it. So
Can you show us through the glass?
Yeah, show them.
And we can try and describe it.
Yeah, you don't need to click anymore. by the
My,
way.
Okay.
it is an abstract representation of a face.
A man
So,
just realizing he has to go to work.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the first song, "What's the Matter?" We're gonna give it a listen. I think you guys already checked it out a couple seconds ago. Click Q, please. Again. No, in the top one. Q.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Nate.
There are no such thing as technical difficulties.
I was
swear.
trying to tell you to click Q twice.
Oh, double tap Q.
Yes.
QQ.
Okay. See, that was my Q to QQ, and I'm afraid that I missed it.
You missed your cue.
You're not a cutie.
We did listen to a snatch of this beforehand, and I remember thinking to myself, this is like a little bit sinister.
And then it starts sounding like the Incredibles theme for a second.
What's the matter? What's the matter with you lately? What's the matter? What's the matter with you lately? Oh, your love is never good enough. Oh, your love is lost on me. You don't know
Stinky.
And we're back.
Ooh, wow! I feel like so much time has passed. There was so much wiggling.
There was a lot of dancing.
There was some abstract dance.
So, what do you guys think of the track?
I really enjoyed that
Yeah,
song.
Mhm.
I really loved that song. The beginning, I think, it kind of tricks you into the kind of song it'll be, because the beginning of that song is very, very sinister and horrific, and
You're
then
like,
it
"Oh,
becomes
no."
it becomes very chill song.
Yeah, it
Nope.
felt very mellow.
Normally, I'm not a huge fan of songs that only have one real lyric.
Mm.
Yeah, I did notice that about it, but I don't know.
The title really captures the entire message of the song, which is
What
is the
the
matter with you, baby?
I always hear Nape. What's the matter with you, Nape?
What's the matter with you, Napey?
What's the matter with
Which
you,
is-
Napey?
My mother probably said that quite a bit when I was a child.
What's the
matter with you,
Napey?
As I stand over a broken flower pot with, I don't know, blood in my teeth.
Oh, also
You
before
eating flowers?
before we go on, I want to quickly introduce someone else who's here in the studio with us.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain for you guys.
So we're also here with Danielle in the studio. Danielle, say hi.
Hello.
We're going to give her some headphones so she's not just screaming into the void.
My name is Danielle Tobert. I'm a Libra. If that matters to you, it doesn't matter to me.
means everything to
What are
me.
you doing back there, Danielle?
I'm typing up my notes for tomorrow because it's my turn.
Ooh, righty.
Yeah. And I get stage fright if I don't have things to look down on that are not my feet.
Or people.
Oof.
What
Oh,
do you think
man.
of the song, Danielle?
I really like the song. It's definitely a jam. It would be great driving music, and it makes me think of the river near my home, back home in Calgary.
Oh, that's nice.
Like
Such
folk fest.
specific,
Yeah,
some
folk fest.
specific imagery brought up by the song. I like that.
I will
I never- I
say
never
one
really
thing.
Put an actual
Oh, wait.
genre to this. What would you put to this? Like
So like,
indie.
like folk alternative,
Yeah,
Yeah.
folk alternative sounds
Indie
about
folk.
folk alternative, if you will.
Indeed. Do you want your headphones back
Yes,
now?
please, alright.
Here you go. Goodbye.
Thank you,
Okay, bye
Danielle.
bye. Okay.
Right. I will say one thing that Nape brought up about there being only one real lyric, which is, while it was a good song, I feel like it's I guess you'd say a once in a while song, because the song itself is very repetitive. There is not much going on in the song itself, but what is going on is awesome. But
Yeah. It's like you have songs where you're in a particular mood for them, kind of thing. That one, it's a very specific mood. Like you have to be
Yes.
like just that weird kind of like walking around on an autumn day, leaves swirling around you kind of thing.
But it's not a song like that you could listen to on repeat. You would go insane.
Eventually, people will be asking, "What's the matter with you?" And then, oh boy, then we're really off to the races.
Alrighty, so okay, we'll play one more song, and we'll chat about that for a bit, and then we'll get into the passion talk.
The meat and potatoes.
But what?
The meat and
Okay.
potatoes.
That's a phrase
It's a
that we
white person
use.
saying?
Yeah,
It's a very
no,
white,
it's,
they're two very white person meal item staples. The meat and potatoes.
I love how it's just meat. There is no like actual description. It's just meat.
Beef, flesh.
Horse.
Alrighty,
Creature.
so I'm gonna show you guys a song by a band called the Adult Sisters.
Oh no.
The song is called "Is You Is" or "Is You Ain't My Baby."
Is You My Baby.
Is You My Baby. Alrighty. So, yeah, we'll give it a listen and we'll be back in a bit.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy.
I've got a guy who's always late every time we have a date, but she loves him. She really loves him. She's gonna walk up to his gate, see if they can get it straight, 'cause she loves him. She wants to have him, so why not ask him? Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Well, the way you're acting lately makes me doubt. Oh, you were still my baby, baby, but it seems my flame in your heart done gone out. Well, a man is a creature that has always been strange. Just when you think you're sure of what, he's gone and made a change. Oh, is you is or is you ain't my baby? Maybe my baby's found somebody new. Or is my baby still my baby true? Duke's up, baby, Duke's up. You think that I'm a lady? You think that I won't fight? I'll make your eyes shine like a lilac while moonlit night. Whoa, you think I'm a one and only? Sophisticated yoni told me you gotta love living while you're living, or you won't love life. Wicked little girls, kiss the boys and make them cry, raising double trouble every time we pass them by. Some might say we're wicked little girls, with curves and kisses and pearly whites. Better keep an eye on your boys and lock them up tight, 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 tight. Those devils, sneaky, cheeky rebels, every day and every night. Hot stepping is what we like. Here come those devils, sneaky, cheeky rebels, every day and every night. Hot stepping is what we like. Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Well, the way you're acting lately makes me doubt. Oh, you were still my baby, baby, but it seems my flame in your heart done gone out. Well, a man is a creature that has always been strange. Just when you think you're sure of one, he's gone and made a change. Oh, is you is or is you ain't my baby? Maybe my baby's found somebody new. Or is my baby still my baby true?
And we're back.
Oh God, I feel like so much time. Has
So,
passed.
just quick
Is that gonna
news.
be your thing?
Quick news to everyone who was here in the studio dancing with us. We were on a camera, and everyone else in the studio has seen us electro dancing.
So they got to see what you thought the audience does not get to see was a treat for other people of just us five just dipsy doodling around in the recording room to just fun tunes.
Amazing.
The guy literally came in here and was like, "While you guys are electro dancing like hell, we're just watching you guys from the camera."
Beautiful.
So yeah, what do you guys? How do you guys like that song? Also, I should stop using the term "guys." How did y'all think of?
Y'all?
What did y'all think of this song?
That was a fucking bop.
Right?
It was definitely a bop. That is the right word to describe it.
I'm no doctor, but I believe that is the clinical word that was my jam.
You know-
Very nice.
You know what it reminded me a lot of? Believe it or not, I don't know why. Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry, really, the cartoon.
The cat and mouse.
You remember the old lady, the owner?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know why I remember her dancing this song like this at some point with the pearls on her arm.
Oh
Mm.
God.
Like I don't know why. This might just be a bad nightmare, but like.
Or a good nightmare.
But it is a very prominent memory, and that is the important thing.
But yeah, I really like this sort of swing dancing or like swing music. I really correlate with kind of like that era, like the Tom and Jerry era. When like
Mm.
I don't know about you guys, but like I was like what 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And like all these things were also like at that time my father, who was a maestro at the Egyptian orchestra, played a lot of music at the house. So like I just correlated classical music with that age a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like so these kind of tunes really bring this back, and like this song specifically I chose specifically for this episode because I wanted to show y'all, because I think it's a really nice nostalgic song.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. My exposure to classical music of any variety was I was in Costco with my mom and my brother when I was probably like 6 or 7. And as a Christmas gift, my uncle had given my brother and I these big, like the best of early 2000s technology boom boxes with CD players and things like that.
Yes.
And so I ended up seeing a CD set just called Power Classics. It's like,
Ooh.
so it's just it was a 2-disc set of just like all the big classical songs. It's got like Ride of the Valkyries, Tchaikovsky's like 1812 Overture, the William Tell Overture, all those big ones. And I would just have these fantasy kind of like sequences in my room, typically with like a meter stick as a weapon, and just listening to these tunes and just jamming out.
Nice. Yeah. But what about you two? What nostalgic tunes can you remember? Things that take you back all the way to like 4 and 5-year-old Armand Ash. Although like it might not be that easy to remember back in the day, but like I don't know about you guys, but like there are some things, I guess, triggers that do bring me back to like they bring me definitely that far back.
So my father is also a musician. He is not I guess you would say, licensed musician. My dad's a doctor, but he likes to do music in his spare time.
Illegally.
Specifically jazz.
Specifically jazz, but my dad is also a big fan of, I guess, the genre you would call dad rock, so a lot of AC/DC,
Boy.
Rush, things like that. So for me, a lot
Bryan
of
Adams.
AC/DC songs bring back memories. Specifically, the song actually, what is it called? TNT by AC/DC is one of the favorite songs of mine, not only because it reminds me of my dad, but also reminds me of when I was 6 or 7 playing the game Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, which was the first T game my parents let me play because I could turn off the blood in the game.
Unlike when you skateboard in real life and you can't turn off the blood when you like fly into an edge and break your hips.
Yeah, the earlier and later Tony Hawks had quite a bit of blood, and I was not allowed to play them for that reason.
They're like, oh man, there are too many green stick fractures in this game.
Yep.
Too much road rash.
Both of my parents are medicinal. My father is a neurologist, my mother is a nurse, and then my grandfather is also a trauma surgeon. So any form of motor vehicle, I have almost an encyclopedic knowledge about all the ways you can hurt yourself.
That is a horrible thing to know.
Oh yeah, it is. I was at one point like, I want to start, trying to get on a motorcycle, and my mother looked at me and she said, "Listen, Armand, your grandpa is a trauma surgeon. Your father's a neurologist. You have no chance."
Oh God. A similar thing is my dad is a forensic engineer, so he sees a lot of like insurance cases of people getting in just horrific automobile accidents. He'd be like, yeah, it was a small car, got hit by like an 18-wheeler, and the forces made the seatbelt actually snap, which is the first time I've ever seen that. And I'm like, good Christ. God. And I'm like, did the person survive? And I'm like, I already knew the answer. I'm like, no, that person's dead. He's like, yep, the car was turned inside out. I'm like, oh God.
My God. Yeah, I don't like car accidents at all.
I don't think anyone goes like, "Hey, yeah, you know what I fucking love? car accident.
Yeah,
What about
more
that
so
movie
like
Crash?
I specifically don't like them. I lost some family members to car accidents. It was not
Alright.
nice. Anyways, more off to a more positive note.
Hey,
We're just gonna sidestep that and go straight on to positive
Yep,
Matt.
let's go straight up into passion talk. So Nape, you're co-hosting with me today, so you won't be talking about your passion. So
Oh,
you
thank
can-
God, I don't
as
have
well.
any.
Perfect.
just coffee.
I'm a
Coffee, all the
vessel.
coffee. So yeah, Arman and Asha are gonna be basically running us through your passions. I know that Arman, you so when I asked about your passions, Arman was the first one to reply actually, but he only put one word there. Do you know that word, Arman?
It is horror.
No.
It
No?
is a video game.
Yeah.
It's Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Yes.
Bloodborne.
So I'm actually gonna work on that. Bloodborne is a very fear-based game, and Arman, you do a lot of fear research, right?
That I do. I am a researcher at the University of Waterloo for the psychology department.
All right, tell me more.
So I guess where Bloodborne figures into this is that I originally got my job because of doing a final project for a psychology class in my third year of university, or I guess it would be my second year, something like that. Time is weird. But I came up with an idea of why are people scared of certain kinds of monsters and not others, based upon a boss fight in Bloodborne that I was playing at the time. And I proposed it to my professor, who thought it was a really good idea, and at the end of the term asked me if I wanted to do actual research on the topic and not just do it for the class. So that is how I started getting into research, and since then I have continued to do research on horror. I currently work with 2 different professors on different aspects of horror.
No, that's amazing. That's very cool. Any recent revelations, I guess, or any recent things that kind of caught your eye off of your research that you'd like to share with us?
So of the 2 experiments I'm currently running, one of them is meant to start launching within the next 2 weeks, and there's one that I launched a while ago, and we're just writing up sort of the paper for, and that one is on fear and disgust. One of the interesting things we found is that in a lot of horror you see this combination of really like threatening things such as, I guess, knives, pointed sticks, and then you see disgusting things, mucus, blood, the like. And when you look at a lot of psychology research, there is a body of research that talks about how fear and disgust are different, how fear is a response to threat, and where disgust is a response to contamination, and that they are fundamentally differing emotions based upon some research that has shown that the facial reactions that you use are opposite to each other. However, horror sort of uses both of these things. So what I've kind of come up with a theory about, and I haven't actually sat down and be like, I've written this out, but I like to call it the aggressive contagion, which is, by sort of definition, things that are disgusting are usually small things that can't really, harm you in any real way. Like a fly covered in poop is disgusting, but it's not, it's not threatening. Whereas a lion is threatening but not disgusting. But in horror, and I think part of the reason why it can scare us so much is because you get that combination of something that both can hurt you very badly. If it touches you, it will leave you diseased. And that, to us, I think, is just a frightening thing because we're not used to dealing with that.
Yeah, that is very frightening.
Mhm.
True. All right.
So, Asha, what about you? What are some passions that you have that you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, so I know that you guys are aware I've been working at a farm this summer, and
Boy.
I've been exploring my passions for food and growing growing plants.
What's the farm called, Asha?
So our farm is called Fertile Ground.
Mm-hmm.
We are located in St. Agatha, which is in the township of Wilmot. about 15 minutes west of Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a CSA farm, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
Nice.
Alrighty.
So this is a type of it's a method of farming similar to market gardening, where the customers buy shares in the beginning of the year, and so they pay for the full season, and then once a week they have a pickup of all the vegetables that we have in a certain week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's basically an alternative method for people to obtain their vegetables, and some CSA farms have other products that they provide as well, like honey, preserves, meat,
Mm-hmm.
bread.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful alternative way.
My parents actually, they have a CSA box over in Markham. So they're with a farm called Forsyth Farms. So they once a week they do just that. They have a little like market setup that's done on Main Street, Markham, and they go in and there's like you go and you pick up your like selected bag of like vegetables and fruit that's all seasonal and locally sourced from the nearby Forsyth Farms. And then there's also like other things they can buy from other marketing things, like as you said, like jams and honey and things like that. So it's really cool.
I gotta say, when it comes to local sources or like local resources here in Canada, when I first got here, I was amazed by how much the government is like trying to push for local resources more. Because believe it or not, in the Middle East, the government is kind of pushing for the opposite. They're like,
for outsourcing.
yeah, they're trying to get people to use outsourced materials more, because literally, like, throughout my whole, I lived for like 12, 13 years in Saudi Arabia, I very rarely remember buying any vegetables or fruits from supermarkets.
I thought you were about to say like, oh, in that time I think I probably had about 3 vegetables. Oh God!
A tomato and 2 cucumbers.
All 3 of those
all at once.
Yeah, and we're so lucky here in Canada to have those resources and to have this amazing abundance of land that we can, not all use for conventional agriculture and growing fields and fields of corn and soybeans, and actually growing on a smaller scale for local residents to obtain a wider variety and diversity of food.
Mm-hmm. A lot of like mix of things like berries and like other less conventional fruits, things like eggplant and pumpkins and things like that.
And vegetables you've never heard of, like kohlrabi.
Like,
What?
oh God!
Alrighty,
Kale.
Asha, I have a
Arugula.
question. So,
Yeah.
what do you do there at the front? Like, what is your position?
So my position is a field worker. And so essentially we have 3 field workers and 1 intern. So there's 4 of us, and then our farm manager, Angie, she also works full-time with us. So there's 5 of us in total. And our day basically starts out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings are all harvest mornings. So we harvest from 6 a.m. to about 10. And then from that point, we wash our produce and then store it in a cooler. And then in the afternoon, we do various tasks like weeding, transplanting, other maintenance and things like that. And then we also have a weekly rotation of chores. So we have chickens, for example. If you're on chicken chores, then you're feeding them, you're giving them water, you're cleaning up their coop, things like that.
So how much would you say that this resembles like people's stereotypical idea of farmers, where it's like a bit of wheatgrass sticking out of your mouth, overalls, wide-brimmed hat, maybe a pitchfork, definitely a tractor.
Oh yeah, we actually have 2 tractors.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's been really interesting to see the different kind of implements that you can put on a tractor, and
Utility.
yeah, and as far as the typical image of farming goes, I think that is actually, it can be quite different for a lot of people depending on what kind of farms that you've seen or been exposed to. And one of the great things about working at this farm is that we can actually visit a few other farms during the season, and it's really, really interesting to see how even a farm that is also a CSA or ecologically based they can do things so differently than we do.
Those
And-
pagans out in Cambridge with their bees and their bullshit.
We have honeybees.
Yes, they actually just started growing honeybees. It's a bit of a passion.
Growing. Okay.
Okay.
Cultivating honeybees.
And that's
Breeding.
the psych major
Right
for you.
off the bush.
Listen. I can tell you how a brain works, but like
I
once
cannot
you
tell
get
you how
a,
a bee works.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of our hives, we open them. You open them every about 14 days. You don't want to disturb the bees too much, and we take a look at the frames, and they build their wax inside. And so we've actually been seeing them produce some honey, and we tasted some. Tastes
Nice.
really good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
If I remember, Asha, this is a passion project of you guys up at
Yeah.
Fertile Grounds, yeah?
So this is something that me and the rest of our staff decided to do on our own. We had 2 hives sitting empty on the property, and so we decided to obtain some bees and see what we could do over the season. So
Some
That's
bees through
amazing.
questionable means.
Black market for bees.
Black market bees.
Black and yellow market.
I was gonna say the black bees. It sounds racist. I don't know why.
All right, let's mosey on back.
It was just a brainstorming session where you come into a table and everyone's quiet, looking down at themselves, and suddenly one person stands up, maybe Asha, just a whiteboard, and on it she grabs a marker, just writes the word bees, slams her hands on the table. Gentlemen, to business.
Alrighty, so before we move on to a song, I really quickly want to mention that Armand had his last final exam
Okay.
this past week. So that's what, the very last undergrad final exam, right?
Yeah, that is.
God.
I just have my thesis left to write, and then I
Congrats.
will
No
be.
feeling quite like it.
So what are you writing a thesis about?
It was surprise, also horror, also psychology.
Spookity spook.
Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I had a feeling.
I don't think any of us. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
think
I'm not gonna talk about it anymore.
No, please do.
Protein purification.
So
Chokes.
okay. So this one is about the kind of people who actually enjoy horror movies. There's a theory we're working around with, which is this idea that the reason that horror exists as a medium, because the fact that we enjoy horror or have horror media doesn't make much sense, considering that fear and disgust are both avoidance-based emotions. They're reactions to negative things.
No.
They're survival-based emotions, correct?
Yep.
So the fact that we have horror media that we intentionally trigger this emotion repetitively doesn't make the most sense on evolutionary terms. So the theory that we are working with is this idea that here in the Western world, at least, we don't really deal with threat anymore. Like, we have a pretty, stable, safe life. We don't have to worry about being attacked by tigers or contamination for the most part. Oh, not the bees. But perhaps the reason horror media exists is because we need to be reminded of what horror looks like, or what fear looks like, because we no longer get it on a day-to-day basis. So just in case we finally get to that moment where we are scared, we remember what to do.
But okay, so I have a question. Wouldn't media nowadays, and like media that portrays horror so much, wouldn't that in itself have some sort of a factor on what like defines horror for us, or like does that work the other way around?
Could you rephrase what you mean?
Yeah, I think I just confused
Is
myself.
it like does horror inform psychology, or does psychology inform horror?
Yeah, like is the concept of horror shaped by media, or
Oh,
is
of
the
course.
concept of horror in media shaped by us?
I mean, it's a bit of both, obviously. I mean, horror in many ways reflects the culture at the time. Take a look at it.
The fears of society at the time.
Yeah, is one of the main theories. There is, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm a terrible psychologist, terrible researcher, but there is a very long list of theories of what monsters represent, and one of the major ideas is that monsters are culture and that they represent our fears. A good example of this is in history is when we look at a lot of movies during the Red Scare. You have movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which are about people being replaced with
Communists.
well, that's the metaphor, but
That's a bit on the nose.
it's a bit on the nose. But like what actually happens is people are replaced by these alien pod people that are devoid of emotions, which are supposed to be representations of communists. And not all horror is that on the nose, but it is I think one of the best examples of how horror is culture and the fears of our current time.
True. Alrighty, so that was a beautiful rundown of both of your passions. May I just say that like horror and like farming is one of the most beautiful combinations I've ever seen.
Especially if you see like horror-themed farming movies.
Oh,
Like you'll see like just like the Dark Harvest. Oh.
I remember Dark Harvest is, I believe, a campaign in Left 4 Dead.
It definitely is. The reaping.
But yeah, I loved listening to both of you. I hope you gave us a nice gist of what your passions are, and yeah, we'll give this song a listen. It's by band called Lake Street Dive. The song is called "Baby Don't Leave Me Alone with My Thoughts." It's one of my personal favorites. It's really nice. And yeah, we'll check it out, and then we'll be back for closing sentiments.
Because
and,
who wants to be left alone with their thoughts, honestly?
Exactly. Alrighty, and here we go.
Hard times, when I really need somebody to hold me tight and tell me I'm strong. Last night, you were really there for me, so thank you for playing along. But I gotta be honest with you, baby, this is not about love. I gotta be honest with you, baby, I'm not above using you to get me through the night. Baby, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. I don't wanna get caught in the current of my mind. Baby, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. Ooh. An old man has got his little hands on the button. Feels like nothing anyone can do. People out there cracking up, and I'm just trying to keep it together. Notice that I feel better when I'm holding you. But I gotta be honest with you, baby, this is not about love. I gotta be honest with you, baby, you're here to help rid me of the demons of the night. Baby, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. I don't wanna get caught in the current of my mind. Baby, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. Ooh. Would you be my human shield? Hold you so that I don't
And we're back.
Oh, you little bitch! You took my line.
I was like, oh, I have exactly 1 second to snake this from him.
Fucking fuck.
Shows up as a co-host for one episode, steals the spotlight. There is no spotlight because this is an audio medium.
So yeah, and we're back.
We are back.
Well, we're double back now.
Armand and Asha are actually back now because they were too late to get back to the studio.
Luckily, we have us two.
I've
goofs
been here
vamping.
the entire time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was probably just talking to another couple who looked exactly like you were with us
Oh,
at the studio right here.
We are a couple, are we not?
Oh, did we forget to mention that? Those two totes dating.
Dude.
Right? Super weird.
It's a lot of horror and nature.
Enthusiasts
You know.
love to get together.
Day, like Day of the Triffids, horror and nature enthusiasm.
I sort of like to imagine as like Asha is the earth and I am the sky because the cosmic horror.
Fair enough. Yeah, I see that. It's pretty cute.
in the mythos that is your relationship.
Yes.
So what did you guys think of the song?
I thought it was pretty chill.
Nice. I could picture that being like a weird like genre of song that I like to look into is like those songs you hear over like the montages at the ends of movies where you kind of
Yeah.
see where everyone ended up kind of thing. The like,
Or, like, the
conclusion,
credits song.
the denouement montage. I love it.
Yeah, I really like this band. They're also local, and
Buy local.
they're like literally all of their songs are this kind of style, and they're like literally my official. I should say literally a little bit less. They're my official like
Your
shower
metaphor.
album.
Your shower.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Shower.
perfect. Like baby, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. I'm already alone with my thoughts in the shower.
I really hope you're alone with your thoughts in the shower.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you're not alone with your thoughts in the shower. I mean,
Sometimes they're intrusive thoughts in the shower.
well, that's schizophrenia. Is that what
Sometimes
that
your
is?
thoughts are alone with you in the shower.
Sometimes you're in the shower and your thoughts are.
Sometimes you're not alone in the shower, is what I was trying to say.
And
I'm
with
not
that
alone here with
note,
my thoughts are alone here with me.
and with
All
that
right,
note,
Roshar.
we'll end the episode. So thank you both, all three of you for being here, and thanks to Danielle. She's not here currently, but thanks for her for like sitting here throughout this whole thing. I hope all three of you enjoyed this. I definitely massively enjoyed having the three of you and like interviewing you, Armand and Asha, and I most certainly look forward to interviewing you tomorrow, Nape.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today, Mo.
Yeah, Mo.
Yeah,
it
thanks
was
for bringing us on.
great.
Thank you. But yeah, I love talking with you, and if I ever do get on air, don't forget to tune in and listen to me.
Yes, for sure.
Alrighty, so this is Mo Sem signing off. You guys want to sign off?
I'm Nape signing off. Thanks for having me.
I'm Armand Coley. Smell you later.
And Asha, we're signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Good
ver-
night, everybody.
Thank you very much for listening, and have a lovely day.
Bye.